guys, welcome back to my channel. Simone here, and welcome to my final video of 2018, which is going to be my January TBR. So I have 10 books that I'm planning on reading in January. I had very little luck at the end of December because I spent my whole month basically doing Vlogmas and my Harry Potter week, so I've really not read very much. So I read 120 books this year and also last year, so I decided that that's basically 10 books a month. Obviously some months I read more, some months I read less. But what I want to do is sort of focus on 10 books a month. I'm still going to set my reading goal as 100 books, just because for me that's easier and I don't like the kind of like dreaded rush at the end where I'm like, can I get it done, can I not? So I think also I'm planning hopefully to do Vlogmas again next year, so obviously I'm going to pretty much write off December as reading wise because it's just not possible. So yeah, so 10 books a month is kind of where I'm going to be. And I have some videos coming up over the next few weeks talking about certain books that I want to read, so I will briefly mention those in this video just because of the books that I'm talking about from those lists, but obviously I don't want to spoil you too much. But let's get started on my plans for 2019 January. So first up, I want to read some older books on my shelves that are not kind of like new releases or even really relatively recently new releases. I kind of want to read books that have been out for quite a long time that I've been wanting to read and I wanted to get to. And this year I'm not too hung up on whether I read bigger books or smaller books because I think seeing as my goal is 100 and that means potentially if I read 10 books a month, that's 120. So I think that really will help me to kind of not worry too much about whether I'm reading bigger books, because I feel like sometimes I get a bit scared of bigger books and I get a bit intimidated, and I don't really want to do that this year. So my first book I want to read is Cross Stitch by Diana Gabaldon, which is also known as Outlander. This is not, this is just the way it was. I think it was initially brought out in the UK as Cross Stitch, but I'm pretty sure they're the same book. And this is about a woman named Claire Randall, who I believe goes back in time from 1945 to 1743 in the Scottish Highlands. I don't really know too much else about it. This is a book that's talked about a lot on BookTube, and I feel like I'm quite looking forward to reading it. Heard some mixed things, but we shall see. Yeah, looking forward to this one though. So the second older book that I want to read is actually the first of a new series that I want to read by James Patterson. I will link my James Patterson video down below, his author spotlight that I did, where I talked about the books that I would do to read and the ones I wanted to read, and this one was on that list, and that is First to Die by James Patterson, which is the first book in the A Women's Murder Club series. This follows 4 women, a homicide inspector, a medical examiner, an assistant DA and a crime reporter, and they all join forces to solve a murder, I think. I'm not entirely sure anything else about it. It says at the front, what's not to love about a club formed by 4 women to catch a psycho killing newlywed couples. I don't know what's not to love, so I'm going to give that one a go and see what I think about it. And the third and final old book that I want to read is another big one. So Outlander's about 800 pages. This one's nearly 600. This is The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. I've talked about this quite a few times. I read Angels and Demons again this year. I've already read it previously, and I have actually already read The Da Vinci Code once before, but I want to continue with the series, so I wanted to reread the books, and I found this one in my charity shop locally and thought I would pick it up. This follows a Harvard symbologist named Robert Langdon, who gets roped into dealing with the investigation of a murder of a curator of the Louvre in Paris, and then he meets a French cryptologist named Sophie Nouveau, whose father was actually the man that was murdered, and it's about the symbology and all that sort of thing. It's really, really interesting, and so I want to reread this one hopefully this month. So the next 3 books are going to be from the 3 list that I'm going to have coming up soon of want to read in 2019. I will briefly mention which list they're going to be from, but again, like I said, those videos are yet to come up. The first one actually of those lists is already up, and that is my 5-star predictions that went up in Vlogmas, which I'll link the video down below. And the book that I want to read from that this month is The Accident by c.l.taylor. I read a c.l.taylor book before. I think I read The Missing, and I really, really liked it. This one is about a woman named Sue Jackson whose teenage daughter Charlotte deliberately walks in front of a bus, and while she's in a coma, Sue finds out a lot of things about her daughter's life that she didn't know, and is kind of finding out things and working it out as she goes along. So yeah, this sounds really interesting. Again, I love c.l.taylor's writing. I've really enjoyed it, and I really, really want to read more thrillers this year, so this is helping me on the step towards that. So this is one I'm hoping to read this month. Speaking of thrillers, I'm going to have a video up called Project Thriller, and basically this year, I've said before that I often feel like I read books that other people will find that are popular books on BookTube, just because I feel like otherwise people won't really like my content. However, I've decided, because of Nicole from A Beautiful Chaos of Books, she's really inspired me to continue reading the books that I actually really love, and the people that watch me will hopefully love my content, and if they don't, they won't watch, and that's fine. I love thrillers, crime, mystery, all that sort of thing is definitely my jam, and so I have 12 project thriller books that I'm going to be talking about in a video coming up in this month, and I want to read a book a month basically, and hope that I read some more thrillers that I love. So this month the one I've picked, again a bit of a spoiler for that list that's coming up, is The Surgeon by Tess Gerritsen, which is the first book in the Rosalian Isles series. I think there's quite a few of them now. I have read this previously a long time ago, but I really want to continue reading the series, and I honestly don't remember anything about this book. It says it's about a killer who targets lone women, and Jane Rosoli is a homicide detective, and she's dealing with the investigation, and then I believe Maura Isles is the kind of, what do you call them? And Maura Isles is the sort of forensic psychologist or forensic person that does like the autopsies and stuff. And I think that's what this is about. I'm really excited. I really want to watch this TV series, but I don't want to watch them until I've read the books, and like I said, there's a lot of books. This is obviously, like I said, is the first one, which I have read and have loved, but I need to reread before I can continue. And this is the first one in Project Thriller. And the last one that's part of the list that I will be doing is going to be part of my books to read in 2019, which will be up on Wednesday, so check that out when it does come up. But again, another little spoiler for that one. The first book on that list that I really want to read is The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Rebecca Skloot, which is a non-fiction book about a black woman named Henrietta Lacks. It says her name was Henrietta Lacks, but scientists know her as Healer. Born a poor black tobacco farmer, her cancer cells, taken without her knowledge, became a multi-million-dollar industry and one of the most important tools in medicine. Yet Henrietta's family did not learn of her immortality until more than 20 years after her death, with devastating consequences. So again, I really want to read this. I've been really enjoying non-fiction recently, and I feel like this is another one that I will really enjoy, and I love to read about different people than me. This is obviously sciencey, and it's about a tobacco farmer that I know nothing about, so I'm really interested to kind of read this one, and yeah, I'm excited for that. And I've had this one on my shelf for quite a long time as well. So then I'm going to be reading 3 books from my stand up to the TBR that I did. I will link the video down below, but part 4 of that included these 3 books that I wanted to read this month. The first one I'm terrified about reading. We've mentioned this many times before. It's also quite a big book, so I'm being quite ambitious this month already. Good start to the year. But I want to read The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, which is the first book in the Mistborn trilogy. I have said this before, I keep reading the back and I still don't understand and know what it's about. Again, this is, how many pages is this? 650? I'm scared to read this. I don't really read high fantasy much, but I did enjoy one of Brandon Sanderson's other books last year, or this year, and yeah, I'm excited, but also quite scared. But we'll see, maybe I'll love it. Then I have Domain of the Dead by Ian McKinnon, which again is a zombie novel, which we all know I do love. Again, I know nothing about it apart from that I own it and I really want to read it, and it was part of my stand to the TBR, so I'm going to hopefully read that this month as well. And then the final book that I've already picked is Wolf by Ryan Groudon, which I believe is an alternative kind of like an alternative world where Germany won the war, and it's about a little it's about a 17-year-old girl named Yael who wants to take part in a motorcycle race because the winner of that race gets to meet Hitler, and she wants to meet him and kill him. And yeah, I'm really excited. I think this has also got something to do with, there's something to do with like shape-shifting in this or something, I'm not entirely sure. I'm really excited by this though. This is definitely something that's up my street. I love kind of like World War II books, and I feel like this is like that on another level. So yeah, really excited by this one, and hopefully I will get to it this month. So that is my 9 books that I've already picked, and as you know, I always do a random book of the month. So I have my Goodreads set up on my computer next to me, and I'm just going to push the button and I will get a random book that I'm going to read. So let's see what it's going to be. I'm looking, I can see it when it loads. It'll tell me when it's done. Are you done? You done? You are done. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Let me find it. Okay, so I'm really interested. This is very different to anything else I'm reading this month, which sometimes I think is a good thing when you read lots of different things, because it depends what you feel like reading. But the book that I've picked as my random read of the month is Geek Girl by Holly Smale. I've heard quite a lot about this on, what was the channel? A Heart Full of Books. I'll link their channel down below. The twins, Maddie and B. Actually, their channel might just be Maddie and B now. I can't remember. Anyway, I'll link their channel down below. They talk about this series quite a lot, and I'm really excited to give it a go. It just says, Harriet Manners knows a lot of things. Cats have 32 muscles in each ear. Bluebirds can't see the colour blue. The average person laughs 15 times per day. Peanuts are an ingredient of dynamite. But she doesn't know why nobody at school seems to like her. So when she's offered the chance to reinvent herself, Harriet grabs it. Can she transform from geek to chic? I feel like this could be interesting. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about this. But we'll see. I've had this on my shelf again for quite some time, so I feel like this could be quite an interesting read, and yeah, hopefully I will get to it at some point this month. So there we have it, guys. That is the 10 books that I'm hoping to read in the month of January. Let me know in the comments down below what you're planning to read in January, and if you're planning to read any of these, or if you've read them. Thank you so much for a wonderful 2018, and I will see you on Wednesday for my first video of 2019, where I'll be doing 3 videos a week. So come back next time. See you later, guys. Bye bye.